back. I am here with the second part of the first episode of the Lovebird Lane podcast. As I said in the first episode, I am Julianne and I have renamed my podcast to the Lovebird Lane podcast, and I've restarted the numbering at number 1. So yes, welcome. This part of the podcast will be about my works in progress, what I have been working on, and I've got a little bit of stash acquisition, and I guess just talking about things that we did on Christmas and whatever, and just give you a bit of a catch up. So, without further ado, the first thing that I've mostly been working on is, I don't think I've actually shown this on the podcast, I'm not 100% sure, but it is my Ninilchik Swoncho. So, I think pretty much everybody has heard of Caitlin Hunter at this point, and this is one of her patterns. And I have really loved this pattern ever since I first saw it. So, it is a poncho sweater, so you can probably see there that there are armholes and there will be sleeves that are knit down on this. And I was hoping to actually get this one done before the end of 2018 as well, but it just was not happening. I got through all of the colour work and was down onto that the plain section at the bottom before New Year's. But like I said in the previous part, it's been very hot here, and even just holding this against me today is just really, really hot. So I haven't really wanted, especially because it's colour work, it's sort of double, double thickness. I haven't really wanted this on my lap most of the time lately. So it hasn't been getting a lot of love, but this is mostly what I'm working on. I haven't actually done a whole ton of knitting over the last few days. I think I'm just been too hot and too tired, and yeah, it just hasn't happened. So but this is what I'm mostly working on, and like I said, I'm down with all of the colour work and I'm just down to doing the finishing of the sweater and then I'll be putting the arms on. And yeah, I really love this. I really love the colours that I chose. These colours were all mine, unlike the last colourwork project that I did. These I chose myself, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Probably the only thing I'm not the happiest with is this green colour. So if you've watched me for any period of time, you know that green is not my favourite. And when I went on to Knit Picks, because this is Knit Picks City Tweed DK, because Caitlin used a tweed yarn in her sample, and I really liked the look of it, and I like tweed anyway, so I like tethered colours and I like tweed, so I'm a little bit more rustic in that respect. I went on to Knit Picks and was looking at the colours, and I'd kind of decided I wanted it mostly grey, so this was a no-brainer for the main colour. And then I've got these two sort of shades of purple, so sort of more of a plummy magenta-y colour, and then this really dark purple. And I did want to have a blue, but I didn't like the shade of the blue with the purple, from what I could tell on the website. So I did go for this more bluey green, and I don't hate it. It just isn't what I had in mind when I was picking my colours, but I do actually really like it. It is nice. I don't hate it in the slightest. I do like it, but yeah, it's a bit green. It does tend more towards blue next to the purple and the grey, so I'm not hugely worried, but yes, it is a little bit green. But I've really enjoyed knitting this, and funnily enough, as I got towards the end of the colour work, the same as I did in my throwback, which I think I mentioned in the previous podcast, is I kind of got burned out on the colour work. Even like at the beginning, it's like, oh, I just want to keep going, I just want to keep going, this is so much fun, yay, colour work, yay. But then, yeah, towards the end, it was just like, get this, please just be over. But yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I would definitely recommend the pattern. It has been a lot of fun to knit, and I'm sure I'm going to get a ton of wear out of this, because even since I was a kid, I used to wear ponchos all the time. I love ponchos. To me, it's a wearable blanket, and I think that is the best thing ever. So yeah, I'm super excited to be able to wear this next winter. It will be quite a few months away. And last but not least is a pair of socks. I'm working on 2 pairs of socks simultaneously actually, but one after the other, because if you have a look at my project page, it says his and hers, and I purchased in, it was in a Knit Picks order ages ago, I don't know when, what, whatever, but I know that there was, they were doing a clear out on this particular yarn, and this is Chroma Twist, and this is their fingering base, and I don't believe that they have this anymore, and I think that's why I got it, because it was on a clear out, and I got 2 different colorways. And I thought that Simon and I could have sort of matching socks, and this is my first one. So I got the colorway Drawing Room, which is like a purple, blue, green colorway, and Simon's was Sandpiper, I believe it was called, and his is more of a grey, blue, beige, I guess, color. So that's, I've started his first sock. And I really like these yarns. I'm not sure why they got rid of them. I guess they just didn't sell. But I quite like them because they almost have a handspun-like nature about them. Because there's clearly 3 separate plies that sort of... it's almost like if I was to... what do you call it? Compare it to a 3-ply handspun. It's almost like a fractal 3-ply handspun. And they're a little bit thick and thin in places, and yeah, I really like this yarn. It's nice and rustic, which I like my socks nice and rustic, and yeah, I'm just kind of disappointed that they don't have it anymore, because I quite like this. I'm enjoying these. So yeah, so if you wanted to get any of this yarn, sorry guys, you can't. But yeah, so that's my first sock. This is Simon's first sock, and it's just, I'm doing them just my cuff down vanilla sock a la Lovebird Lane, which I said in the previous section you can get for free on Ravelry if you want to see how I knit my socks. And yes, I've still got my markers on there because so I can make them all identical. And yeah, these are just kind of getting worked on when and if I feel like it. With the heat, these might get a little bit more work than anything else soon. So yeah, that is it. That is all that I've been working on, what I've finished, what I'm currently working on. So I guess I can move on to a little bit. I do have some stash acquisitions which I can show you, and I guess just a little bit of blather, so stay tuned. First up, I might talk a bit about my stash acquisition. So if you know, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I love Molly of a Homespun House's podcast and her yarn. She's actually the one that I named one of my self-striping colorways after, because I created a range with colors that podcasters enjoy to use on, you know, within the self-striping. And I treated myself, for my birthday last year, I treated myself to a 3-month Harry Potter Yarn and Charm Club. So this is my Yarn and Charm Club. So I've got the 3 months, and I was super excited, and I think I might like to put them in a shawl together. They're not 100% matching, coordinating, but I think they will work, and to me the fact that they are all themed around the same thing should be fine. So I believe these colorways aren't ever going to be redone. I think they're only done for the club. And the first one, which was October, is Mandragora. So that's this one here. And if you are familiar with the Harry Potter books, you'll know that the Mandragora is like the mandrake plant, and which is the plant that's like a little baby with the you know, foliage or whatever you want to say coming out of its head. With this one, I didn't actually get the correct charm. Molly accidentally sent me her birthday charm from September's Yarn Club. So she has actually sent the Mandrake charm to me separately. So I'm just waiting on that. It is in Adelaide, but it still hasn't arrived yet. So I don't have my Mandrake charm yet, but I have my Mandragora colorway. So that was October. November, I loved this. This is Liquid Luck, I believe it's called. So that's November, and it comes with a little shake, and I'm assuming it's like a little cup of liquid luck, and it's this really lovely pink and purple and orange skein, so I was super happy with that. And the last one is called Christmas at the House of Black. So it's a very Christmassy colourway, like looks like Christmas lights, and this was the best charm yet. I have seen the Mandrake charm, and it is pretty good. It's like a little pot with a little plant with a face in it, but this one was the best. Molly did say that we would love this charm, and it is a donut, a Christmas donut that looks like a Harry Potter face. And I love it. It's got the little lightning bolt and the glasses. So yeah, as soon as I opened it, because she said that we would love that charm, and I was like, oh, I wonder what it is. Like, it sounds really good, because she said the same thing about the Mandrake charm, and that's why I was like, oh, I need to have that charm, because, you know, it sounds so cool. And then when I saw it, it was just like, yes. But yeah, I loved this charm. I thought it was fantastic, and I laughed out loud when I opened the box, and Simon looked at me like, what are you doing? But yeah, I really got excited when I saw this charm. So that is my stash acquisitions. I've actually not been buying a lot of yarn. I'm actually going to be getting rid of a ton of yarn. I'm thinking I might do like charity auctions on eBay. So if you're interested in that, I'm thinking I might donate a certain amount of the proceeds to a charity of choice, and you know, get rid of some of my stash, because I'm probably going to be moving in with a friend in August. Simon and I are going to be moving in with a friend, so yeah, so I need to get rid of stuff, because we're basically putting two grown human families into one, although he is single, our friend is single, but yeah, so I need to get rid of some stuff, so keep an eye out. Probably on Instagram I will announce when I start putting things up for an auction. They'll all be very low start price, at probably 99 cents a skein, and you know, proceeds, a certain percentage of the proceeds, I haven't nailed everything down yet, but the certain amount of the proceeds will go to charity, as well as helping me to save up for some more stash. Wow, I am hot. I am really warm, and I think I'm going to keep this pretty short, and I guess I can talk about what happened over the holidays. Marion won't shut up again. So Simon and I kept it pretty quiet over the Christmas period. Christmas Eve we always spend with his dad and his partner, and this year was no exception, and we had a really great day. It was my sister-in-law, my father-in-law and his partner, and Simon, obviously, my partner, and we had a really good afternoon. It was super hot, and we tried to eat, we did eat our lunch outside, because he had just like a barbecue lunch. We ate outside, but man, it was warm. We were like, especially because whenever I drink alcohol, which isn't very often these days, I get really hot. I don't know if anybody else has that. I've told people about what happens to me, and nobody seems to understand, but I get really hot. Like, as soon as I start drinking wine, beer, anything, it's like my body temperature goes up and I just get hot. And I don't know whether it's to do with the increasing circulation or whatever it is, that, you know, because that's why they say you shouldn't have alcohol in the cold, even though that's what the, you know, the St. Bernards used to wear around their necks. You shouldn't have alcohol in the cold, because it brings all the blood to the surface, and the cold will then cool down your blood, which will then cool down your body faster. So I'm wondering whether it's something to do with bringing the blood to the surface or whatever. I mean, I'm not a medical person, so I don't know what the real explanation is. So yeah, I don't know whether it's something to do with that, but I just get hot straight away. And because the day was already warm, I probably really should have just stuck to water, but I had a couple of glasses of wine with lunch. You know, celebration, it's Christmas Eve. And yeah, I got so hot. I was just sweating all over the place. It was awful. But in the end, we all just decided it was too warm, so we went inside the house and had the air conditioner on, and I had a great afternoon. Jackie and I, that's my sister-in-law, we had each other in fits all afternoon. We were just laughing all afternoon. So it was, you know, I couldn't have asked for a better Christmas Eve. It was just so much fun. And Christmas Day, we went to Simon's mum's house, which was lovely. Simon and I, because we decided that we weren't going to do any gifts because we're all grown adults. We don't really need gifts. You know, you guys probably understand that, you know, you get to a certain age and if you want something, you just buy it for yourself. You don't wait for birthdays and Christmas to get what you want. So we kind of just decided, let's just spend the money on a really nice meal, drinks, whatever, for Christmas Day. So Simon and I save up in a Christmas club all year. So we took some of that money and went down to the cheese shop at Westlakes, which is our local Westfield. And we spent about $78 on cheese and bits and pieces, but not having to buy presents for anybody, we just went, why not? And we splurged, and we, you know, we had this lovely cheese selection. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen the photo, and everybody enjoyed that, I believe. It went down quite well. So that was good. I'm glad everybody enjoyed. And yeah, we had a good day. It was hot again. I think it was supposed to be 34 degrees Celsius on Christmas Day. And we all had a swim in the afternoon. Well, me and Simon's cousin and the dog. Granger had quite a few swims. He was in and out of the pool all afternoon, so that was pretty funny. And yeah, we just had a really nice day, really relaxing. We ended up being there until about 10:30 at night. We were sitting out. She has, my mother-in-law has a Balinese hut out by the pool, so we were sitting out under there having a bit of a drinky and a bit of a snack. And yeah, that was really lovely. And pretty much from that point on, Simon and I didn't move our butts off the couches. That's pretty much what we did all holidays. We had already decided for Boxing Day that we would just have, we would stay in because Stan has put all of the Bond films on there for streaming. So we decided that we would make pasta salad and we would watch Bond, and that's what we did. And we pretty much, I think Simon said 5 films that day. So 5 films at about 2 hours each, so we did pretty well. We've since been slowly getting through them, and we even watched all but the last 2 Harry Potter films, so we have those 2 to watch as well. So that's pretty much what we've been doing. Simon went back to work yesterday, so I've gone back to work. I spent yesterday dyeing yarn. And in case you don't know, I'm no longer selling my yarns on Etsy. So if you were a customer of mine on Etsy, please check out my new website. It is www.lovebirdlane.com, and I will be having updates on there every fortnight. So every Thursday fortnight at 7 p.m. I will be having an update. So if you're ever interested in any of my yarns, that is when you can grab them. And the fact that I have my own shop now, I can put all of my things that I always sell on there, because I used to have 2 Etsy shops. The second Etsy shop wasn't as popular because I mostly was focusing on the yarn. But I've got a few like handbags, I've got some headscarves, I've got lots of different things on there, business card holders. So yeah, if you're interested in any of that, check out lovebirdlane.com. I have a shop section on there. I've already had my first order, which was super exciting, seeing it so brand new. And it was a bit of a learning curve because it looks very different to Etsy, but I've figured it out. So if you are interested in any of my shop stuff, I obviously will be posting on Instagram. So if you follow me there at Lovebird Lane, that'll be on there. Any of my new products will be on there. I might share a little bit on this podcast. I want this podcast to be more about what I'm working on and talking to you guys rather than having all of the shop stuff on here. But if you are interested, I have just started a newsletter. So if you go to my website, there is a link up at the top left-hand corner, and it says newsletter, and you can click on that and enter your email address, and I will be sending out a newsletter every fortnight. So just to update you guys with what's going to be in the shop update and anything else that I'm getting around to doing. So I know there's a few events and things that I'm going to be participating in this year. So if you want to be able to come out and see me if you're in Adelaide or anything like that, definitely sign up to my newsletter and follow me on Instagram so that you can get all of the details. Alright, I think I might leave it there. I am hot, I am thirsty, and I'm just about ready to collapse. So I'm going to take all of this footage, I'm going to go and try and assemble it into some form of a cohesive whole, and yeah, I will catch you all next week, faux show, because I have made my commitment to doing this weekly. So I hope you all enjoy having a more regular podcast, and do please leave any comments that you have down below. I'd love to hear from you, and remember, if you haven't already, like the video and subscribe. Buttons down there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.